Everybody has a dream car or a dream car collection. If you close your eyes now and think, I'm sure there will be a Lambo or Ferrari that you can picture in your garage. Now for me, it would be an R34 Skyline GTR in midnight purple, and an MK1 Supra, and an Evo 5, and an RX-7. My list is very long, so let's stop there. But what if I told you that some car collectors dream about South African special edition cars that were only available here in our country and were only produced in limited numbers? Today we are going to take a dive into the small pool of super rare, super desirable South African only cars. And I'm going to start this list off with a car my granddad actually owns. Me and my dad have worked on it, and when I was still little, I thought it was one of the most powerful cars ever, the Ford Sierra XR8. Now the Sierra was sold all over the globe, and in its many performance models it was super successful in racing. You got the XR6, a 3-liter S6 powered V6, you got the Sapphire, a 4-cylinder turbo, and then you got the RS500. Now here in South Africa we got our own special race homologation Sierra. Production in the mid-1980s was limited to just 250 units. Now what makes the Sierra XR8 different is what lies under the hood. Instead of a V6 engine or a 4-cylinder, these XR8s were fitted with a Mustang-derived 5-liter V8 imported directly from the US. Now this new setup produced 215 horsepower and 370 Nm of torque, which meant that the XR8 had a 0 to 100 of just 7 seconds and could go to a top speed of 231 km per hour. Now from a big V8 powered Ford to a tiny little Golf. Now the MK1 Golf was made here in South Africa as the City Golf all the way till 2009. We here in South Africa love our little boxes. Now in that time a few sporty version of the Golf was made. We had the City Sport, the CTI 1800, and the one we are talking about today, the R-Line. Now like the CTI, the R-Line was powered by an 1800 engine. Now this slightly modified 1800 engine produced 120 horsepower and 160 Nm of torque. This power in a 900 kg Golf mean that she wasn't lazy in a straight line, reaching 100 in just 8.5 seconds. The car also came stock with a wide body kit, limited edition alloy mags, and a special interior. Now only 375 of these were ever produced, making it a truly special MK1 Golf that can fetch quite a bit of money if it is still in a good condition. Now the next car I have talked about numerous times on the channel, and it's just because I like it so much, the 333i BMW. So here in South Africa we didn't get the E30 M3, but BMW South Africa still wanted to make the SA customers happy, so they partnered with BMW Motorsport and Alpina to develop a super rare and unique to SA 3 Series. Now what made the 333i different to the M3? Well, the earlier versions of the E30 M3 was powered by a 2-liter 4-cylinder with 197 horsepower and a top speed of 240 km per hour. Now the 333i was not powered by a 4-cylinder, instead they used a 3.2-liter straight 6 from the 733i BMW. Then Alpina took the motor and they tuned it to 198 horsepower, which is around the same power the M3 made. The 333i was a bit slower than the M3, but it still wasn't a slouch. Now the 333i is one of the rarest E30 BMWs you can own, or even just one of the rarest BMWs you can own. Why? Because only 204 units were ever made, and in the time since then I'm sure a few of them crashed out, so it is really difficult to find one. But I did find one for sale in Europe, and it went for $93,000. Now from one special BMW to yet another one, the 325IS. Now the 325IS had 3 generations here in South Africa. You had the 1989 325IS that was powered by a 2.5-liter straight 6, making 175 horsepower to the rear wheels. And then you got the Evo 1 that was released in 1990. The 325IS Evo 1 sported aluminium body panels, brakes and suspension from the M3, and a bored out 2.7-liter Alpina tuned engine. Now the Evo 1 made 195 horsepower. But the 325IS Evo was used in Group N racing, and in order for it to stay competitive, The motor was pushed all the way to 207 horsepower with the Evo 2. Now back then in South Africa, the 325 IS was a feared rival on the streets and on the track. And now we're going to talk about the rival to the 325 IS in the Group N racing, the Opel Kadett GSI 16 valve, or as it is locally known, the Super Boss. Again, the Super Boss was built to satisfy homologation rules, so a total of 244 were produced. Now, like I said previously, the Super Boss was made to compete against the 325 IS we just talked about. Now, where the BMW was powered by a straight 6, the Super Boss only had a tiny little 2-liter 16-valve 4-cylinder under the hood, but because it was so light, it was surprisingly fast. The 2-liter made 170 horsepower and 230 Nm of torque, which accelerated the car from 0 to 100 in just 7.5 seconds. Now, a few things that made the car special and different from the normal Kadett included a raised compression ratio of 10.5 to 1, a modified intake aggressively tuned to 76-degree shrink camshafts, and a remapped ECU. And then lastly, it even had a South African developed limited slip differential. So a truly cool Opel that was only available in our country. So that is 5 really special South African only cars. If I missed any really cool car, leave it down below, because we do have some cool cars that was made way back in South Africa. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I've got many more list videos just like this one, or not just like this one, but you know, like the same. It's me, you know. So if you like listening to me talking a bunch of crap, leave a like and subscribe. I'll check you guys in the next one. Cheers, hey.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for.